We're back with a fresh edition of the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you had a good weekend. It was a great day at the Panerathon for Andrew and myself yesterday. We were the station's 10K participants, and boy, was it hot. I mean, even at 10 in the morning. Now, the air temperature was like 80. But on the pavement and freshly laid asphalt, due to all the construction in downtown Youngstown, I mean, those asphalt temperatures had to be 120 degrees with the sun beating down. And so it was a tough run. It really took a lot out of us, but we got it done, and yeah, always a great time, a great event, a great cause. It's one of the biggest community events in our region for the entire year, and yeah, we had a real good day aside from the sweltering heat on Sunday around the area. Now, we oftentimes end our Weather Geeks videos with a look at the longer range. Let's start out with a longer range discussion this evening. This is a look at tonight's run of what we call the European Weeklies. This is actually a twice-a-week suite of modeling based on the European modeling, of course. We get these Monday evening and Thursday evening. I'm going to show you this right off the top this evening because this is the last run of the European Weeklies that we'll get before the start of September. So this is kind of a look at the next month as far as temperature anomalies off this set of modeling. It suggests that September is going to be a warmer than average month almost across the entire country, with perhaps the exception of parts of the south. So around here, according to this modeling, odds would favor a somewhat warmer than average month of September, kind of following suit. August is going to go to the record books as a warmer than average month, and September could very well have the same flavor. Now, in terms of precipitation, a pretty strong signal on, again, this set of modeling, that a drier than average month will transpire across a lot of the northern tier of states, and it's the deep south that really has the best chance of a wetter than average month, with perhaps the tropics finally coming to life. But that's, this is just one set of modeling. We look at a lot of different things, but overall, what it's suggesting makes some sense based on analogs and based on some other model information out there as well. So I'm not real keen on betting against it. I do think it probably does have the right idea for September. All right, let's head back to today, and we had some pretty nasty storms early this afternoon. These packed quite a punch. Maybe a little bit surprising how much of a punch they packed. Severe weather was not all that likely today, but we did have some isolated instances of not only some strong winds, but some pretty nasty lightning as well. This picture was submitted to us from a house in the Canfield area. Thankfully, no one was home at the time. But you can see a lightning strike caused a fire that tore a hole through this roof, and this ceiling fan's just kind of dangling by a thread. Lightning can really be dangerous, and you think of yourself as safe indoors with lightning, as long as you're not in a bathtub or something like that. But every now and again, lightning can strike things and cause some problems that you don't expect, and this is just one of those rare situations that you can't really do anything to avoid. It just happens sometimes that you get a lightning strike that happens in the wrong spot. Looking at the lightning data right around the time of that strike, and again, this was in the Canfield area, we didn't have a tremendous amount of lightning, and we didn't have a tremendous amount of positive voltage lightning either. A lot of times we associate lightning strikes, when lightning strikes things on the ground, trees and things like that especially, those oftentimes have a positive voltage to them. A positive voltage lightning strike has a higher voltage than a negative voltage strike, and so it tends to be a more powerful strike. We had some positive voltage strikes, but I actually suspect that the strike that caused the situation that I just showed you was this guy right over here. This is about where this house was hit. Just east of Route 11 in the Canfield area. And this, according to our data, was a negative voltage strike, but negative voltage strikes can hit things too, can still be dangerous, and that was quite a picture, quite a scene out there in the Canfield area today. And we had some scattered reports of some wind damage and some power outages as well. 40 years ago today, it was not severe weather that was the story, but how about this? 32 degrees for the early morning low on today's date back in 1982. This is easily the earliest 32-degree reading of the late summer and fall season on record for our area. I think second place is like in a few weeks It's like during the second week of September, something like that. So this was a very unusual event for us, and that's a record that will probably never say never, right? But very unlikely to be broken. That 32-degree record low on today's date in 1982. Rainfall totals from earlier today. This is our rain gauge network. Now, I was driving in this on my way to work at about 1 o'clock or so this afternoon. Around 11, I mean, I had the flashers on. It was a blinding downpour, but these things were moving fairly quickly. And so in any one location, we didn't see, rainfall totals through the roof. Quarter of an inch to half an inch in some of the heavier echoes, but thankfully they were moving at a pretty good clip. But the rain was pretty intense for a brief time. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the current radar. Most of you are watching this well after I recorded it, but when I recorded this video, at 7:12, we are keeping an eye on 2 clusters, one approaching from the south and west, and another off in northwest Ohio. Now, the batch, again, at about 7:15, that was pushing into our area from the south and west, looks pretty ragged, looks sub-severe to me, but some lightning and thunder with this. This line out here has had a history of producing some damaging wind gusts and several severe thunderstorm warnings late this afternoon and this evening. And again, as of about 7:15, we still had a few severe thunderstorm warnings east of the Toledo area. There's been some Doppler radar wind estimates on the western end of Lake Erie, up over 60 miles per hour, and a severe thunderstorm watch still in effect for a sliver of northern Ohio, eastern Michigan, and a handful of counties out into Indiana and into Illinois as well. Keep tabs on everything this evening on the Storm Tracker 21 app. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the radar because this is a recorded video, and so that information won't be especially germane if you're watching this at 10 o'clock in the evening. The heat was trimmed some this afternoon once the storms moved through. We still hit 87 or 88 at the airport this afternoon, but then the storms rolled through, it cooled down, but it did not trim the humidity. The dew points are still way up there, but relief is in sight. Look at this drier air out across the upper Midwest. That's what's coming our way as we go into tomorrow night and into Wednesday. But this line of storms out in northwest Ohio is coming into an environment that is not as suitable, not as favorable for strong wind gusts. Not as much wind shear in the atmosphere. We're heading closer to sunset. The atmosphere's already been worked over a little bit today with our storms that moved through earlier. So I would not expect us to be put under a severe thunderstorm watch at any point this evening, but a couple of rowdy storms will still be possible, even though overall the severe weather risk definitely higher up over Lake Erie, up into parts of Ontario. I'm expecting this line to do quite a bit of weakening as we go into the late evening and into the overnight hours. But a cold front is heading our way tomorrow. This will produce a couple of rounds of showers and storms. A lot of this will be before about 3 p.m. Wettest part of the day, maybe around lunchtime. A drying trend from west to east later in the day. And then how about this forecast for the start of the Canfield Fair? Wednesday, beautiful. Thursday, beautiful. Fair amount of sunshine. Dew points will be low. Open up the windows at night. Lows will be down in the 50s, maybe even upper 40s in some spots, especially Thursday night into Friday morning. So the Canfield Fair gets underway on Wednesday, and overall weather impacts this year, low each and every day. Now, it's going to get pretty hot for some by the weekend. We have mid-70s in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday, 80 or so on Friday, but I've got mid-80s on Saturday, perhaps about that warm Sunday, and almost that warm into Monday. No 90s, nothing extreme, but if you're out there, all day, you're certainly going to work up a sweat at the fair this year. But our only rain chance really at this point is on Sunday, and that's a small chance of a shower or a storm. We might have to add something for Labor Day as well, but at this point it doesn't look like a big chance. I would say the vast majority of the fair this year will be dry. So again, our high temperature forecast trending up as we head towards the weekend, but nothing extreme. We certainly had hotter days at the Canfield Fair late in August and early in September. We'll talk more about the fair all week long. Don't forget, for the first time in a few years, you'll be able to stop by the WFMJ tent right under the grandstand and chat with a lot of WFMJ personalities. Dana, Derek, Aaron, Madison, myself will be there from 10 to 2 on Saturday and 2 to 6 on Sunday. So hope to see many of you there for the first time in a few years after, of course, we stepped away for a couple years during the height of the pandemic. In the meantime, thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight. Again, keep tabs on the radar on the Storm Tracker 21 app. I'll see you back here on Tuesday.